Welcome to Healthy Minds for Life Mental Health Education Series. Before we begin, we would like to thank Windsor-Essex Community Foundation, 646 Program, and Green Shield Canada for their generous funding for this program. In this first section, we will focus on understanding mental health and mental health promotion. In this module, we will work to gain a better understanding of how mental health impacts us. We will learn more about what mental illness is, as well as discover new ways to improve and maximize our current mental health. We will also answer your questions surrounding mental health and wellness. So what is mental health? The World Health Organization, WHO, defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. The Canadian Mental Health Association describes mental health as striking a balance in all aspects of your life: social, physical, spiritual, economic, and mental. Reaching a balance is a learning process. Your personal balance will be unique, and your challenge will be to stay mentally healthy by keeping that balance. Mental health is more than just the absence of mental illness. It's a collection of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Examples such as perceived life satisfaction, happiness, cheerfulness, and peacefulness. Self-acceptance, personal growth, optimism, control of one's environment, spirituality, self-direction, and positive relationships. Other examples include beliefs in the potential of people in society as a whole, personal self-worth, and sense of community. This picture is a depiction of promoting mental health through intentional effort, climbing to the top of our wellness. We cannot build a penthouse without first having the foundation of basic needs and a sense of belonging. We've touched on mental health, now let's define what is mental illness. The Mayo Clinic defines mental illness as a wide range of mental health conditions, disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and behavior. Examples of mental illness include depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and addictive behaviors. The Canadian Mental Health Association describes mental illness as health problems that affect the way we think about ourselves, relate to others, and interact with the world around us. They affect our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Mental illness can disrupt a person's life or create challenges, but with the right supports, a person can get back on a path to recovery and wellness. So does everyone have mental health? How can I tell if someone has experienced or is experiencing mental illness? Can someone live well with mental illness? How can I take care of my mental health? Diagnosis or not, mental health decline affects us all, and we can all benefit from mental health promotion activities. We can be mindful of our own indications of mental health decline and take intentional actions to return to our baseline wellness again faster. There are differences between mental health problems, which are common struggles that affect everyone from time to time, and mental illness, which is a diagnosable condition that usually requires professional treatment. Intentionally engaging in evidence-based actions and behaviors and modifying lifestyle to improve mental health and wellness allows for greater quality of life, a better ability to cope with stressors, as well as enhanced social and community connection, personal fulfillment, and overall productivity. Mental health promotion is about empowering individuals with awareness of their own ability to positively influence their own mental wellness. When we have stressors in our life, such as losing a job, getting a divorce, tight finances, and bereavement, mental health promotion benefits us through these inevitable changes of living. We must work on balancing our self-care to help buffer against the impact of these stressors. As self-care is increased, we may still be impacted by our stressors, but are better able to approach them from a place of preparedness. Think of someone that takes insulin for diabetes. They still have diabetes, but the symptoms are reduced with management. Everyone requires different self-care or mental health promotion activities to balance out their own unique challenges. Mental health and mental illness aren't simply at opposite ends of a single spectrum. People diagnosed with a mental illness can still have high levels of general mental well-being, while those without a diagnosed mental illness can show low levels of mental well-being. Mental health is best understood as a matrix where people can move among states of mental well-being regardless of mental illness. They can flourish or languish depending on individual functioning, social well-being, and mental health issues. This model emphasizes that mental health is not simply the absence of mental illness, meaning it is possible to have good mental health while living with a mental illness. Mental health promotion is intentional. It involves taking action. It is planned in advance and practiced regularly, even when feeling well. This involves building a toolkit of strategies and is unique for all of us. We all require different strategies that are consistently reviewed and amended as needs and circumstances change. You will often hear the term stigma when discussing mental health. Stigma is a set of negative and often unfair beliefs that a society or a group of people have about something. Stigma is a Greek word that in its origins referred to a type of marking or tattoo that was cut or burned into the skin of criminals, slaves, or traitors in order to visibly identify them. Social stigma suggests many untruths. Examples of this would be that people with a mental illness are dangerous, that mental illness only affects the impoverished, or that those living with a mental illness are responsible for it. Combating stigma related to mental illness, suicide, and substance use begins with how we use language, something that continuously evolves. That's why we must all be aware of outdated language being used in the media and around us every day. Everyone can be a champion against stigma when advocating the use of accurate and respectful language. So as you communicate with others, be mindful of the impact of your language. Person-first language focuses on the individual while de-emphasizing the illness, disability, or condition. Using it shows respect for an individual as a person rather than as abnormal, dysfunctional, or disabled. Examples of this would include an individual who lives with schizophrenia, or a person with lived or living experience of substance use. Physical activity can directly impact and improve not only our physical health, but our mental health as well. Physical activity, particularly moderate active living, like walking for example, is linked with improved self-perception of mental well-being. Physical activity is also linked to positive effects on self-esteem and self-perceptions. There is also evidence that suggests physical activity can promote aspects of cognitive functioning such as memory, reasoning, problem-solving, and spatial awareness. Individuals who are more active tend to fall asleep faster and sleep longer and deeper than those who are inactive. They also tend to be able to cope with stress better. Ensuring that you have both formal and informal supports is an excellent way to maintain strong mental health. Some examples of formal support would be physicians, support workers, spiritual leaders, or a therapist, like social or caseworkers and counselors. Informal supports come in the way of friends, family, teammates, and colleagues. The aim of positive psychology is to promote and focus on the positive aspects of human experience rather than solely treating illness. Putting an emphasis on strengths will lead to improved performance, improved quality of life, and the prevention of disease. Other effective tools that promote positive psychology would be DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, solution-focused, which would be brief 1 to 4 sessions dealing with particular issues, mindfulness, strength-based, focusing on strengths regardless of a situation, ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, which is effective for pain management and addiction. The practical skills used by the Canadian Armed Forces is called the Big Four, and it has many similarities to the ideas also used in sports performance psychology. The Big Four consists of 1. Goal setting, 2. Mental rehearsal or visualization, 3. Self-talk, 4. Tactical breathing. Setting both long and short-term goals increases our motivation. Taking the time to review goals and physically write them down can actually improve our chances for success. All people talk to themselves. People who are stressed can experience negative self-talk where language tends to be overly dramatic, such as never, always, awful, or demanding, like have to, can't, or should. This creates negative beliefs or expectations that can cause further problems. People can be helped to practice using positive self-talk that replaces negative. Tactical breathing is a strategy that has been used by first responders, the military, and athletes to focus, gain control, and manage stress. In addition, it can help control worry and nervousness. Relax yourself by taking 3 to 5 breaths as described on this slide. Visualize each number as you count. Breathe in, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop and hold your breath, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat the breathing. Breathe in, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and hold your breath, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. The fight, flight, and freeze response, also known as the acute stress response, refers to a physiological reaction that occurs in the presence of something that is in actuality or perceived to be stressful, either physically or mentally. The response is triggered by the release of hormones that prepare your body to either stay and deal with a threat, to run away to safety, or to go still and silent in the hopes the threat will pass. The fight, flight, or freeze response can happen in the face of imminent physical danger, for example, encountering a growling dog during your morning jog, or as a result of a more psychological threat, such as preparing to give a big presentation at school or work. There are many physical signs that may indicate that the fight, flight, or freeze response has kicked in, including rapid heartbeat and breathing. The body's heart and respiration rate increase in order to provide the energy and oxygen to the body that will be needed to fuel a rapid response to the danger. Pale or flushed skin. As the stress response starts to take hold, blood flow to the surface areas of the body is reduced and the flow to the muscles, brain, legs, and arms are increased. Dilated pupils. The body also prepares itself to be more aware and observant of the surroundings during times of danger. Trembling. In the face of stress or danger, your muscles become tense and primed for action. The tension can result in trembling or shaking. Feeling numb. As blood is diverted towards your bigger muscles, you might feel your extremities going numb, as if you've been out in the cold for several hours. Understanding the body's natural fight, flight, or freeze response is one way to help cope with such situations. When you notice that you are becoming tense, you can start looking for ways to calm down and relax your body. Just like exercise and practice can improve our physical fitness, mental exercise and preparation will help to improve our mental fitness. Examples of mental health promotion we can all practice include nutrition, exercise, sleep promotion, getting involved in the community, staying connected to friends and family, meditation, and breathing exercises. There's also mental health promotion we can learn, like how to regulate our emotions more effectively or reduce the intensity of our feelings, how to think in more realistic ways that are less negative and self-defeating, how to evaluate and disregard unrealistic and unfair thoughts, how to speak to ourselves with less criticism. As a result of these practices, we can improve our mood as well as increase our ability to achieve our goals. The first step is recognizing the importance of acquiring these insights and skills from therapy. You can reduce the stigma by choosing to see for yourself the many options available. Remember, mental health needs regular appointments and maintenance just like physical health. Find out more by visiting windsor-essex.cmha.ca and be sure to watch the other informative videos within this Healthy Minds for Life series. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our community partners.